Hello, my name is Elise. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create student data forms in Google Spreadsheets. So what we're going to do is we're going to be collecting data for students to enter. So this is an example of how I would set up a data sheet for my students. What I have here are their assignments, the name of their assignment, score, total score, percentage. I teach 5th grade, so I'm going to keep it fairly simple. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to have tabs with other options for data collection. This is what our graph looks like. If I enter in another assignment here, I left the percentage blank in this case, so I can show you a couple things that you can do in order to get a percentage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right from scratch in the Quizzes tab and show you how to create this. So if we want a heading like this, I can copy and paste it, but I would like to do something a little different. So instead of assignment, I'm going to say quiz name. You can have it as big as small as you like. And when I go in, I can enter quiz fractions. Now you'll see that it will pop over here. If I have a title that goes a little bit longer than the line, I can actually move this to make it as big or small as I want. Let's say their score was a 12 out of 15. What I can do right here is enter a formula that will make it so that everything in this column goes into percentage mode. And the way you do that is right here at this function box. So that means function. And I'm going to make sure I'm clicking on the box in the row that I would like the score to calculate percentage. So if I click right here and press the enter button, it gives me a small underscore line. That means that I'm typing in the actual formula. So I'm going to look at the column here. If I click on it, it will put it right in for me. And then I'm going to tell it what I want it to do. So I want it to divide by this score, C3. And press enter. Now when I press enter, it comes up as 0.8. So what I'm going to do is change that using here as a percent. This is the format that I like my students to see. Now, instead of having to go in and do that function for every single time, one thing that I can do is click on this box right here. If I go back into this and click on this box, I can actually drag this formula down as far as I want. So I'm going to go all the way down to box 20 and put that in and press enter. Now I get this lovely error because there is nothing being divided here. So there's one thing that I can do back to this formula that will help that go away. Basically, I can say that if there is an error in this box, to ignore it or to trap it. So I'm going to go back up to my function box, right up here, and put if error, and then trap the value. So as you'll see, the little help box kind of came up there to tell me what to do. So I'll show you that one more time. It kind of traps that. Now we said that we wanted it for the whole thing. So just as we did before, let's take that box, drag it down, go down to number 20 again, and press enter. So now, if I click on any of these boxes, you'll notice that that if error and our function is already there. So when I go and click quiz here, fraction 2, and I have a 14 out of 15, that score will immediately pop up. Now one very cool thing that I can do is I can use charts. in my graph. So let's say in my next quiz I wrote a 10 out of 15 here. So I have 3 different quizzes. What I can do is I can take these 3 scores and go up here to the charts function, the insert chart, and there's lots of different charts to pick from. You can do line, area, column, bar, depending on the type of graph that works best for your information, and also depending on your kids. I like to stick with these 4 recommended charts in the beginning of the year. And I like to do the line graph to show progress. So I'm going to press Insert. And then I have my chart right here. Feel free to put it wherever you would like. A nice thing about this is that you don't have to necessarily go in and change the data on the information. You can just change it right in the chart. So progress during July, score in percentage, and quizzes. I can also go up and edit the legend, so I can change here text if I'd like. So this is my graph. Now the one thing that I'd like to show you is that when I type in another quiz, although my data comes up here, it does not come up in the chart. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to delete that chart and create a new one. Here. Now, if you notice, my chart titles did not save before. We have a small reminder here, press enter to apply. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Now, you can get a lot more fancy with this, but depending on your grade level, depending on what you would like to show, you don't necessarily need more graphs, more charts in here. Hope you learned something today. I appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.